Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Silas, and I'm so glad you're here. I say welcome back because if you haven't been here before, and if this is your first video, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate the fact that you're here, and I'm gonna ask you now to like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this content, of course. So maybe you can end until the end of the video to do so. But if you're already here, and you're a friend of mine or part of my family or someone I haven't met in my life yet, but you're still here watching, I really appreciate this. Thank you so much because right now I have 6 subscribers, and which is great because I started with 0, as most people do, and it's really something, to start from 0 to 6. I know it's small number, compared to the millions that so many people I follow have. But at this point, I'm so glad you're maybe part of the 6 people who are subscribers to my channel. And on this note, I have a goal for 2021, which is getting to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. And so please, again, if you enjoy this content and like this video, please thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. It means a lot. And today I'm gonna talk about something that is happening this weekend. I'm posting this video today. I'm gonna say today, April 3rd, 2021, which means tomorrow is Easter. I don't know if you celebrate Easter. I do know you probably like to eat candy and have chocolate. So I'm gonna talk about this Easter thing, Easter holiday, Passover, and how this whole thing started, always surrounded by Christianity, and how it evolved into one of the biggest holidays we have today worldwide. And also, before I forget, if you haven't checked last video, which was the end of March, we started doing something on this channel. The last Saturday of the month, which is the day I post a new video here, we're gonna talk about a specific book. This month of April, we're gonna be reading together, hopefully, The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. And so on the last Saturday of April, I'm gonna post a video here with the review of the book and also the book suggestion for May. Okay, so I think that's it. Let's go to this topic of today's videos. Okay, as a Christian myself, Christian family, go to church every Sunday, get involved, volunteer for years now. Easter is, for me, in my mind, is something that is very familiar to being with family, also going to church, and understanding always the Christian meaning behind this holiday. But how is everything tied together? I mean, the Christianity and Easter, but the chocolate and the Easter bunny. How all this happened? I always got curious about this, and years ago I decided to kind of look into it, so I could explain to teenagers who were asking me this question at church, how we at church we celebrate Jesus' resurrection, and people are so focused on eating chocolate and etc., which is not wrong, which I love, by the way. My wife and we just went through a bunch of chocolate this week. But the thing is, so many things are connected, and sometimes we don't understand how they are connected. In Christianity, Easter and the Passover are connected. But let me go back and explain this whole Passover thing. Passover is the Jewish holiday for this time, but it's a little bit different, the reason. What happened was that for over 400 years, the Hebrews were enslaved in Egypt. And the Passover is the celebration of this liberation from Egypt, the Exodus. Yeah, if you know this name by the Bible, the book of the Bible, and etc. The moment that the Hebrews, the people of God, they were freed from Egypt. So the Jewish, they celebrate this and they call it the Passover. The connection is Jesus went with his disciples to Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover, the Jewish Passover. And during that weekend was when Jesus was captured, tortured, and crucified, and was resurrected on Sunday. And that's why Christians celebrate Easter. So Easter is a celebration celebrated by Christians all over the world of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. We celebrate the whole weekend, the Passion of Christ, which happened that entire weekend. Okay, but now how is that related to the Easter Bunny and all the chocolate we have during this holiday? One important thing we have to understand and realize is that after the Jesus death and his resurrection, a new religion was born. The Christianity started spreading throughout the world through the disciples and the apostles. And during this time, some of the pagan holidays were used also to celebrate some of the Christian things. And that brings us to the name Easter. Easter comes from the name, I don't know how to pronounce, but it's Eoster or Stre. It's a pre-Christian pagan goddess. We can find something, I think the first find is about her was they were in the 6th or 7th century after Christ. And the reason there was a pagan holiday is simply because it was marking the beginning of spring, in the northern, actually in England. And we kind of understand this kind of stuff or this kind of coincidence, but it's still there was no bunny. And according to the Wikipedia, it was in Germany where the tradition began. The bunny thing began in Germany. Similar to Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny had this judge role. He was going to judge if the kids were being good or disobedient, and based on their behavior, he would give them toys and gifts. And the Easter Bunny was carrying this basket with eggs, colored eggs, and spreading them out as gifts or as a way for kids to play, go around and find, which is something that is very traditional even until today in America, for example. I know in Brazil we don't do this, but United States and in Canada, countries like this tradition still exists. The eggs specifically, since the antiquity, the eggs are a symbol of fertility. So one of the reasons that the Easter Bunny carries eggs is because it's bringing fertility to the families and etc. So ever since the first century, Christians continue to use this as a symbol. In Brazil, which is the country I'm from, there's another big tradition, which is the chocolate thing. But not just chocolate. Here we have a lot of chocolate bunnies and chocolate eggs. Like this one, I'm going to post the picture. And it's very funny how ever since we were kids, this going around to the malls and buying chocolate in so many different shapes and sizes. It's something that every parent has to go through with their kids. And even now as an adult, I spend like 30 minutes in line to get chocolate for me, my wife, and my parents and my sister. And that's it. It's a big tradition here in Brazil. So I just want to point out this because it's important. As Christian myself, me and my wife, and we understand, and for us, the meaning of Easter is Jesus and his death and his resurrection, which is what we believe in. But that doesn't mean that we don't get to play with the other things. We don't get to enjoy the fact that we can eat lots of chocolate, it happens a lot, unfortunately, that so many people, they are so focused on their religion, and even though it is important for them, and it is, don't get me wrong, it is very important for me to celebrate Jesus. And no, since I was a child, this time was a very important time to be with your family, be with your community, with your church goers. But we also can have chocolate and, enjoy these pagan traditions, because there is absolutely nothing wrong with this. This is a very nice and healthy thing we have. So we don't need to be disrespectful just because someone does not follow the same religion, or because some people don't like to eat red meat. They don't like to. They only have fish or chicken on this time of the. There's no reason to be disrespectful to all those things. You can enjoy and you can have a great time with your friends, with your family. Celebrate Jesus is something that we do here in my house and in my family. We love Jesus, and we like celebrating his life. But if that's not the case with you, there's absolutely no problem. You can still have fun with your family and your friends, and even by yourself, just having chocolate and having a good time. So it doesn't matter if you're Jewish, if you're Christian, if you have no religion. I just hope you have a great weekend, and that you may be able to enjoy and live this holiday happy. And yes, because let's be honest, the thing that is most important right now is being healthy and being happy with yourself.